Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. We break down psychological, emotional, and coaching related topics on an almost daily basis. We try to, anyway. We've got close to 500 audios available on a variety of topics. If you are trying to modify habits, I do coaching around habit and behavior modification on a regular basis. If you're interested in working with somebody on those issues, certainly worth doing. Please feel free to reach out at PO Perception on Twitter or at the bequest of this here YouTube page. Just go to the About Me section. My website is there. You can check that out and all that good stuff. Anyway, we're going to talk about 6 bad habits that will take you down what is most commonly a negative mental health road, and certainly we don't want to do that. First thing to talk about is suppression. Suppression of your emotions, suppressions of your honesty, suppressions of your truth. Whether that be about your sexuality, how you feel about other people, how you feel about your job, how you feel about the toxic or negative situations in regard to a relationship or a family dynamic. When you are suppressing what you feel for an extended period of time, it will have a negative impact on your mental health, because moving on from the situation becomes harder when you're not honest with yourself. And also, you are changing the neurosynaptic function of your brain when you are trying to ultimately, be one person, but you're feeling a different way on the inside. Finding a way to get rid of negative emotion in a constructive, non-violent, or if violent, non-self-destructive way. In other words, some people would say hitting a punching bag is violent, but it's directed violence towards an inanimate object, whereas punching a person, probably not anywhere near such a good idea. The next thing is stress. So suppression leads to stress response, the fight or flight situation. So I've either got to solve this, or I've got to deny this, kill this, make it go away. And so the solve versus run mentality being a part of your day-to-day life will create problems for you in the short and long term for a number of reasons, not limited to the fact that you can't continue to be in a fight or flight response for a consistent length of time without it having a negative effect on your body, your mind, your spirit, and the essence of your being. The third thing to consider is negative thought loops or negative thought patterns. The human brain literally has to filter thousands of thoughts within a day. They usually break down into 15 to 17-second intervals. So, if you get into a thought loop, which is one negative thought, and then you awfulize to another, to another, to another, to another, before you know it, you have a negative bias or a negative bent towards whatever situation you're in. If you are constantly going in a negative direction, your default thoughts and default ideas, which are in the unconscious and subconscious mind, will also become negative. Therefore, you have to overcome those before you can ever make a positive change. Resetting and reprogramming and rewiring and kind of learning to manipulate negative thoughts into neutral thoughts first. Lots of people teach negative, be more positive. No, be more neutral. When you begin to be neutral in situations from a mental perspective, then positive and negative are both likely. Therefore, you can make an active choice rather than a leaping choice for positivity when you're ready. But if you go to neutral first, you're giving yourself more variance, and through more variance, more choices of perspective. When you have more choices of perspective, it will cause your brain to link up different ideas in a positive way. So, the next is dependency on social media. This is a hugely bad habit because it messes with the dopamine, serotonin, and other hormone releasers in the brain that deal with feel-good feelings. Now, when you're addicted to social media, number one, your social interaction in a face-to-face way goes down, and two, you're looking for constant validation, verification, and validity through a world that isn't really based in reality or tangibility. Also, it means it makes it harder to interact socially with others when you do interact, and the illusion of competition that is propagated through the belief that someone in a photo or someone in an inspirational quote is living a better life than you can often make you feel worse about yourself in the long run. The absence of self care for yourself, not to look good for others, but for yourself, whether it's a self massage, which is something that's a part of my daily routine, with my pain tolerance levels being pretty high, but my chronic pain being pretty high as well, or something as simple as taking a hot bath or rubbing lotion on your skin just to stay feeling good. Finding a way to integrate self care into your daily life is essential for living well and continually um, coming against negativity on a consistent basis. The last one, and probably the most damaging, which is why I left it for last, is self deception. Look, you know when you're happy, you know when you're not happy, you know when you can handle something and when you can't. When you choose to lie to yourself and say, I've got this, when you don't, all you're really doing is making your own life more difficult in the long run. Because whether it be days, weeks, months, or years down the line, you eventually have to create and confront the reality that is the truth of your situation. Now, it may not be easy, may not be comfortable, may not be fun and desirable, and you may tick people off along the way. But it's better to get things out in the open first so you know what you're dealing with, rather than creating an illusionary life that ultimately leads to collapse and potential self-harm and other negative and or addictive behaviors in the end. Hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.